Hello, beach friends. We're at a marina, and that means we're going out to some islands today. First, we'll be stopping at a sandbar in front of Dickman's Island, and then we'll be making our way over to Caice Island. My name is Charmin, and I will be your host for our beach walk. I am a Southwest Florida full-time resident, and I love sharing the amazing beaches down here and all the fun things I find along the way. I have an irresistible curiosity about the things I discover on my beach walks, and I enjoy bringing you, wherever you may be, along with me on my walks. So if you're ready to see what the beach has in store for us today, let's go to the beach. So right here we are making our way over to Dickman's Island. I do have my own kayak. I launch from the Kayak public marina and it doesn't open till 7. So there's only so much I can do about getting here first to the island because I am constrained by what time the marina will open. So I quickly paddled over here, and it is a little bit of a walk once you get to the island to actually get over to the Gulf's edge. So we're kind of walking across this big old sandbar that at high tide will be almost completely covered. And that's what we're kind of seeing here, where the tide at some point was here and it has receded. This is always a good opportunity too. I'm always kind of checking out just to see if there was some other really delightful treasure left behind here, but today there wasn't all that much to check out. Now, typically I make a beeline for the water. I like to see what's in the water, what might be at the water's edge, so that's where I'm headed. Looks like before I got there, though, I had to just stop and admire and probably pocket this lettered olive. Very shiny. All right, not too shabby. Looks good to me. Let's see what other kind of fun things might be here. All right, this I do look to see if it's going to give me an indication. It never really works out that way. If there's shells here, I go, yay, because hopefully there'll be lots of other things to kind of comb through. And it does look like there's a bunch of goodies here. So we're going to head into the water because that's where I think that the bigger shells are going to be. Although I did see that lump. So if you see any lumps, check those out first. You never know. I got lucky recently and found a keeper. This one I'm going to classify as not a keeper. Looks like it's been here for quite a while. I'm going to go see if there's any other big old shells out there to discover. Oh, on the way we have a little sea friend. This is a short-spined sea star, alive and well. And they're just so pretty. Not too active. We'll just say a quick hi and leave that little critter where I found him. Now this I actually thought was a live banded tulip, but upon closer inspection, it would appear that we have a hermit crab in each shell. So there's a hermit crab in the banded tulip on the left and the true tulip on the right. I think they're exchanging shell phone numbers. Yeah, that's what I think they're doing. And here is a live lightning whelk, and you see its little ears. It's kind of those little black things, and I was really kind of hoping I'd be able to capture this underwater, so I did get my underwater camera, and it just wasn't as clear from this angle. There was definitely a little bit more surf action than I had seen from above, so you can't really see all that much. Oh well, we tried. Don't worry, there'll be more critters to come, more critters to say hi to. And I did find this big old lump, but it's got a hole. It's been kicking around here for a while. So look, if you found this and you think that that's a keeper, by all means, I'm going to keep searching. I'm going to keep looking for something that's maybe in a little bit better condition. But what I figured I would do, just in case somebody does want to hold on to it, is I'll just move it a little bit closer to the beach. So just in case another sheller comes upon it and they would like to keep it, it's theirs. What? Okay, here's promising something big. It's a horse conch, most of a horse conch, about 25% of a horse conch. So yeah, I'm not going to keep that. We'll leave that there. But I wasn't wrong in that the big honking shells are in the water. They're still kind of buried here, except for that one that we did see on the beach. And yeah, so that's why I'm here. I'm kind of hoping I'm going to find a big old good one. I keep finding big ones, but nothing I'm going to keep. That is another live lightning whelk. We're just going to leave that little friend where it is. See what other kind of goodies we can find. All right. We have a gorgeous 5-hole keyhole sand dollar. Oh, looks like we have more than one. And this was expected. I do happen to find plenty sand dollars when I come down to this area, the Marco Island, 10,000 island area. So I bring a big container for my sand dollars. And it makes the sand dollar smell like coffee, so bonus. So that is the container that I keep my sand dollars in. And here I was hoping that this was an albino Florida fighting conch, but no. But there's a little crab. Hey, crab. All right, so that is not a keeper shell. So we'll leave that where it was. All right, looks like there's another couple of Florida fighting conchs. Yeah, I'm not going to hold on to that one. But I figured, oh, wait, let me show you why. It's kind of got some stuff I don't feel like working on. And this one, it's lovely. Normally it might be a keeper, but I'm going to keep my shell weight down. I just started. So I'm not going to keep that Florida fighting conch, but I'll definitely keep this sand dollar. Plenty light enough to go with my other treasures. Now this bird, so this is a reddish egret. And what is cool about these guys is they do this dancing and flapping and really puts on this show when they're hunting. So it's easy to kind of tell in the distance if that is a reddish egret. Another interesting thing about these birds is they come in a white form as well. It's called a morph. So this shell, or that bird rather, even though it's called a reddish egret, can sometimes be white. So while he or she is still stalking some breakfast, I'll let you know that it is 67, not too bad, and the tide is just about dead low. So it's going to continue to come in at this point, which is fine. Uh-oh. All right, what are we gonna remove from the beach? A bush light can. All right, definitely not gonna leave that behind. And I'm looking, I'm so excited because I'm really the only one here right now. But I've kind of done my thing in the deeper water. I found a bunch of big lumps. Nothing I'd necessarily consider keeping, at least at this point. So I'm just going to keep kind of walking around, see what other goodies we might find. I will give you a little spoiler. I find something I've never found before. So that's going to be cool to share. All right, here we have an orange jingle. Come in all different sorts of colors, whites, yellows, blacks, grays. That one, it's a lovely orange variety. And here's another lettered olive that is empty. Excellent. And it doesn't even have shells jammed in it, which is kind of weird. They almost always do. Oh, it's beautiful. A lovely, clean, shiny, lettered olive. And a beach taco. All right, this is one of the pen shells. The smaller ones aren't quite as unattractive as the larger ones, but that is a pen shell. They do have that pretty iridescent color on the inside. We'll see that in just a sec. Oh, all right, well, I'm here. Go ahead and add that sand dollar to the coffee can. What other goodies? Gonna rinse off that sand dollar real quick and see what else might be here. All right, there's a piece of that nacre I was telling you about. So this is a piece of the inside of a pen shell with that gorgeous, it's usually really the purple is the more predominant color. So that's called nacre. It's really super pretty. And we're gonna keep exploring, see what else might turn up. All right. I do happen to like these, the Sunray Venus clam. I know it's just a clam, but these and the calico clams, I just think they're so pretty. The patterns are all different. Sometimes, yep, that one's a lot more pink. Sometimes they're more tan. Sometimes they'll be black. The stripes will be black. The accent color was a little darker. So those are some of my favorite Sunray Venus clam shells. I suspect we're looking at a sand dollar, even though it's really hard to see. Yeah. Oh, it's so pretty. And I can't manage that with one hand. So we'll do it like that. Gorgeous, gorgeous sand dollar. That is awesome. A little bit harder to find the real small ones and the larger ones. Majority of them are kind of the medium size, so real happy with that. And here's another one. That one's a little more evident. You're going to kind of look for the voids, those little black marks. Beautiful sand dollar. Now check this out. No, looked this up. So this is a redbeard sponge. And scientists actually use these to study. They put them in like a scientific blender and they make kind of like a sponge soup. And then the sponges can eventually find themselves and rebuild their structure with the correct cellular placement. That was just crazy. I couldn't believe that. Yeah, some of these fun things we find on the beach are actually used for other types of research. And then this clam-looking shell is actually a white Atlantic simile. Very nice little shell. And another one of those, see, like the accent marks are dark, so that's another one of those Sunray Venus clam shells. Oh, so very, very pretty. Awesome. Oh, and a critter. All right, so this is a lined sea star. Check it out. It's cruising, well, for as fast as a sea star can move. So that's how it gets around. It's probably a little bit easier in the water, but that is how this creature moves around on the sand. They have a hydrovascular system, and that's how they get to move those little legs around. So I'm going to try to show you the under part of this gorgeous creature. So that's where it gets its name, from the lines on top of it. And check out all the little legs. So that is a lined sea star. Don't get to see those very often. So real happy to say hi to that gorgeous creature. And we'll just help it into the water until the tide comes in. All right, I got some competition. The other shellers and shell tours are here. So now it starts getting a little bit more interesting. And I have been checking out the water. I did get here first, so I felt good about that. Let's see if there's anything half buried. Why, yes, as a matter of fact, there is. Hello, gorgeous. So that is an alphabet cone. Gets its name from the markings. So someone thought that they looked like letters. I think it looks gorgeous. Either way, super happy with that alphabet cone. And I see a piece of a piece of a lightning well. That's all it was. And believe me, I do that all day long. I just don't always share those shots with you. So here's a little peek at the sandbar here. Let's take a peek. All right, so what is piled up here? You got your cockles. Oh, a spiny jewel box. Let's check out the spine factor. Yeah, definitely spiny. Awesome. So I definitely see some cockles. Here's a scallop. The piece of a kitten paw adhered to it with its marine glue. See your clams. Just kind of see if there's anything kind of poking out. Mostly your arcs and your regular run-of-the-mill shells. Now here it's a little bit more spread out, and so you have the opportunity. Things might be kind of a little more half buried. Oh, we have a little auger. Check real good to make sure it's empty. All right, we have a banded tulip that is empty, a little bit chipped. That's all right. Oh, yay. So this is another one of those clamshells I like so much. That is a calico clamshell. I just think it's very, very fancy for a clam. And another lettered olive. Now, there's actually other types of olives. I'm really hunting for an albino, but the lettered olives the most abundant ones that we have down here, and that is a calico scallop. Very, very nice. Add a little color to the collection today. All right, back at the water just in case. Guess I hadn't checked this area out quite yet. All right, see some color. Yep, another calico scallop. Anything else really special? Oh, there's a sand dollar. Looks like I got my fill. Couple more clams. We already picked up some of those. Anything else? Peace. All right, it might be half buried. We got a lightning whelk. A little chipped up, a little bendy. That's all right. I'm gonna hold on to that anyway. Yeah, just kind of scanning. That's what most of my time is done. Just kind of meandering around, see if anything really kind of sticks out at me. I just thought that was so pretty. I know it's just a clamshell. I really like them. And this, okay. This I've never seen before. Never seen one of these. This is a Sanibel turrid. You only get to be about 1 inch big, and I just wanted to stop and really let you take a look at that gorgeous little shell. I've seen pictures of them when they're a little bit more worn down. That one is in fantastic condition. So I was super duper happy with this little Sanibel turrid. How cool is that? Never seen one before. Awesome. These I've seen. Lots of them. This is a banded tulip. Relatively easy to find in the 10,000 island area, but man, once you get up toward Fort Myers Beach or Sanibel Captiva, much harder to find. And this is a cone. It's like a third of a cone. Looks like the rest of it kind of evaporated. Oh, and look at this fine little tinted cantharus. So that's another one of those little cantharus shells. And a seraph. Those also stay on the smaller side. They can be quite lovely. And if you're in the water, just take extra care. Make sure that that shell is empty. The hermit crabs seem to really like those. And that is a little banded tulip. The banded tulips don't get that big. The true tulips, on the other hand, they do. They get much, much bigger. And this is an arc, a zigzag arc. I like to call them turkey wings. And it is a little worse for wear. So I'm going to leave that for somebody else. But looks like there's another lettered olive. Awesome. While I'm here, yeah, just a piece of a sand dollar. And so all those other shells, they're just clams. Here's another olive. A little bit of stuff in it. And a bubble. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll find a bunch of the same shell. I'm just kind of done for 10 minutes, but then 10 minutes later I start picking them up again. So I wish I could tell you the rhyme or reason. If I see something I think it's cool, I pick it up. That's just kind of how I roll. So that is another lightning whelk. Nice size. I know it's a little chipped, but they are harder to find once they get to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to hold on to that. And that was worth a little pull out of the sand as well. Let's take a peek. Oh, very nice. Another lovely lightning whelk. And here's another little shot of the area that I'm beachcombing. Lots of space. Not too many people because you really can only get here if you have a boat, if you're on a tour, if you kayak here. And as fun as this has been, I'm really itching to know what's over on Caice. So we did what we could here. Let's see what other kind of things we can find on our way back to the kayak. All right, a Florida fighting conch and 2 banded tulips. And again, I'm not going to worry about weight because I'm just going to leave those in my kayak at this point. I won't have to drag them around with me. Oh, I'd love to drag that around with me. But it's alive. So this is another live lightning whelk. And since I pulled it out of the sand, I figured, no, let me help a little friend out. Get it over into some water. So there you go, buddy. Just hang out, wait for the tide to come in. And this is another little Florida fighting conch. It's alive, though. I was kind of hoping it would move around a little bit more, but I don't know what it was. It was just kind of hanging out, enjoying the sun. But I suspect it's going to be a little bit happier in some shallow water. So we'll just help another little friend out before we leave Dickman's Island. What else? Okay. Hey, if there's a Florida cone there, you might as well grab it. So that's another Florida cone. It happens all the time. They really, really hard to find them intact and not kind of beat up, but gonna hold on to that pretty Florida cone. Another big old orange jingle. Appears to have, yeah, a little bit of beach stuff on it, no problem. A couple of orange things to remember our trip to Dickman's by. Okay, now check this out. This is a colorful moon snail, but it doesn't have the right coloring, so it's kind of one of the freak shells. I've seen a bunch of them, not a lot of them, but that is not the right color of that colorful moon snail. A spiny jewel box. Yep, immediately go for spine factor. It's decent. I'm going to say a decent spine factor on that. And a lightning whelk in some pretty good shape. Okay. Might as well take these while I'm at it. Now, we haven't seen one of these yet today. That is a paper fig. So that is another one of the fun animals. I've only ever seen one alive. It was absolutely gorgeous. But that is the shell that the creature leaves behind. So there's my trusty little kayak. It is little, it is mighty. I still think it weighs more than 45 pounds, but I had to get something I could manage by myself. So we're going to take this little kayak from Dickman's, and now we're going to head on over to Caice Island. Now, I was a little nervous because the last time I kayaked by myself, I had a little bit of trouble, and I literally needed to call 911 for help. So getting to the island, no problem this time. Okay, excellent. Well, that really wasn't my problem last time either. But be that as it may, it was a relatively calm paddle over here. So we're going to land over here on Caice and see what Caice has in store for us. Oh, I do love a good worm snail. So I pretty much always pick those up if I see them. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out what other kind of goodies we might find. Okay, so there is another colorful moon snail. We're probably going to find a bunch of those today. This island is really good for the banded tulips and the gaudy nauticas, the lace murex. We're going to find all sorts of good stuff, hopefully. So we're still kind of on the side of the island. We haven't kind of wrapped around onto the Gulf-facing portion as of yet. A little lightning whelk, but you never know what is going to be there. I mean, I found flats over here, so I hate to just kind of run past all this stuff thinking there might be better things down the beach. And there are a couple of other tours here, so I will be encountering a couple of other people. And by that, I mean like 5. So it's pretty awesome to be out here on the islands. And I've been having a great time. I think I'm going to be quiet and let you enjoy some beach time. All right, so I'm going to quickly check here. Just real quick, I've also found good stuff here, so it pays to just slow down, take a peek, just in case. And I'm sure if I did kneel down and really started getting into the sand and seeing what was half buried, there probably are good things here. But I really want to see what's on the Gulf-facing side, so that's what's over there. So that is the Gulf-facing part of the island. Most of it near the water's edge is really trees, so it's tricky to get all the way down by the water proper. We'll get there a little bit. Let's do a quick check-in. 73. It's really kind of perfect, and the tide is coming in, but it was very low to start with. Oh, so pretty. So here's a little pile. A little bit better of a pile than there was over at Dickman's. All right, a little piece of a banded tulip. Oh, one of those clamshells I can't resist. That's a little tiny hinged Sunray Venus clamshell. There we go. Now we're talking. All right, so that is a banded tulip with a little bit of beach stuff on it. And I think it's just fine. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to that lovely shell. A moon snail. All right, so that is your shark eye moon snail. Awesome. Another spiny jewel box. I really, really cannot resist them. And I like the older ones. They kind of start getting those layered look to it on the edge of the shell. All right, a little bit of yellow and purple on the underside. A lovely spiny jewel box. So that's what I mean. It's really kind of tough to get to the sand here, a little treacherous. But believe me, plenty of opportunities to find awesome treasures here. And it's so beautiful. Beautiful little Florida fighting conch. All right, the inhabitant is not quite done with its shell yet. And it is a juvenile, so hopefully it will live a nice long Florida fighting conch life. There you go, buddy. So it really is special being here. It is just so beautiful. It's hard to kind of shell near the water here. That's the only bummer, but you can really not complain when you're just going through piles and piles of seashells. And here we have another one of those banded tulips. Excellent. And all sorts of other piles to look through. And I was hoping, but no, I was hoping that was going to be an albino Florida fighting conch, but just a beach worn, a little bit beat up one. Oh well. Absolutely beautiful here. And I pretty much have the place to myself. Yep, pretty awesome. So we'll try to get out there by the water in a little bit, but for now, we're going to see what is going to jump out at us in these other shell piles. Looks like a little bit of color. All right, here's one of your calico scallops. And another calico scallop. So just kind of scanning, and I'm looking for shapes, for colors. Here's another one of those little Venus, Sunray Venus clams. Textures. I mean, there's all sorts of different attributes of the shells you're going to kind of train your brain for, so you know. Sometimes you'll just see a piece, and you'll know what you can hope that the rest of the shell is attached to that little piece. A lace murex just sitting there. So this is another one of the shells that are really hard to find in other places, but down here, for whatever reason, not too hard to find. All right, finally made it to the water. And there's sand here. Yeah, there's those roots and stuff. And so there's just a little bit of sand here, and it's going to turn back into the roots and whatnot. And honestly, I've never really had luck here, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like there really should be bigger shells out here. Something rolling around in the water. Not so much. Go figure. So, okay, fine, be that way. I'll just head back inland and see what other kind of goodies are up there for me. Oh, friend. All right, so that's one of those short spine sea stars we saw over by Dickman's. Can't just leave him laying there, so we'll get him to a little bit of water. There you go. Wait for the tide to come in. And a cone. A Florida cone. Yeah, it's a little chipped. I'm telling you, they're so hard to find in good condition, but still a very pretty little shell. Another olive. Not an albino, but that's okay. Got some nice M's and W's on there. Awesome. And another lace murex. So normally on any other kind of shelling day, finding 2 lace murexes in one day would be fantastic. Here, it's like normal. I love Caice. Caice is awesome. And another little lightning whelk. Great color. Good condition. Empty. All right, had a little bit of beach stuff, but I'm going to keep that lightning whelk. And then here we have a serif on the left and an auger on the right. I get this question often. Hopefully if I show you enough times, you guys will know. Otherwise, if it's pretty, just pick it up and keep it. That's my motto. If you like it, just keep it. And that is another calico scallop, a piece of a cone. Yeah, that's a kind of pretty shell. Get some pink into our day. I love these. So that is a ribbed Cantharus. They don't get that big. I just love them. I don't know what it is about them. They're just got a really cool shape. And that's it. Ribbed Cantharus. Really cool. And a little top snail. I accidentally left one of these in acid too long and it just completely removed the outside. So underneath it's got this beautiful nacre, like the pen shell. You can, sometimes you can kind of see it. So that is another top snail. And this is a juvenile Florida fighting conch. And they have such great patterns. Another spiny jewel box. Yep, he's spiky-ish. We'll hold on to that. Didn't quite make the lumpy phase yet. It's a little bit of spikes on it still. So just get it, and you gotta be careful. I did walk into a tree branch. That, I was, again, hoping for that albino, just showing you there is a little bit of sheen to it, but it's just a very, very light lettered olive. So we found some pretty cool stuff so far. That Sanibel turrid was pretty awesome. That near perfect alphabet cone, also very, very cool. Got to see a couple of critters. Now, at this point, we have been together for quite a while, so we are going to continue our walk next week. But there are some things I cannot wait till next week to show you. So I want to let you know that we're going to find one of the most gorgeous Gaudinorticas I think I've ever seen. Just absolutely stunning. I find a true tulip that is just awesome. I've never seen one that color, at least that I have found. And check that cone out, as well as that one. So we are going to continue having a great walk, discovering really awesome things next week. And just real quickly before we go, I want to show you all the shells that are not going to make it into the final shot next week. So next week, I'm going to show you all the shells that we found, and I couldn't fit them all in the same shot. So those are just the ones that aren't going to make it to the board next week. So thank you so much, Patreons, for supporting me monetarily and allowing me to continue to bring things like this to you. And thank you everybody else for all of your love, sharing the tips, your comments. I just appreciate you more than you can know. So next week, we are going to finish our walk on Caice. It's going to be awesome. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you again next Sunday.